seven guys dance with one girl, and she'll be in the middle, and they would be in a circle around her, and they would jack. And they would jack. Jack. Jack.
he bought me this fur coat, a brand new car, and this 24-karat gold diamond ring. Ain't it pretty? Girlfriend, you know how it is when you got a good man. You start doing things like wearing those high-heel shoes and the lace stockings with the garter belt and putting on that sweet-smelling, seductive perfume. But you know what? I had to put some lame brain in check, honey, because she got her mark on my man. But baby, I ain't giving up on this here good thing, not for nobody. Cause what that dorky chick got wouldn't satisfy a cheese stick, let alone my baby. She better take her big long head butt and move on. Cause he's mine, all mine. Move on, all mine. Satisfy a woman, all mine. Satisfy a woman, all mine. Satisfy a woman, all mine. Satisfy a woman.
America's service members and veterans are strong, forged out of bravery, sacrifice, and duty. Sometimes reaching out for help can be the most challenging and worthwhile mission of all. When you recognize something isn't right, make the call to the Veterans Crisis Line or Military Crisis Line at 1-800-273-8255 and press 1, or chat online at veteranscrisisline.net or text 838-255.
Are you at risk for oral cancer?
I never chew tobacco.
I don't drink much.
Never smoked a cigarette in my life.
You're 3 times as likely to get oral cancer if you drink or use tobacco. What about HPV?
HPV. Isn't that about cervical cancer?
What does that have to do with oral cancer?
You're 30 times more likely to get oral cancer if you have HPV or the human papillomavirus.
HPV? Didn't know that.
Learn more about HPV and oral cancer at myoms.org. This message is brought to you by your oral and facial surgeons.
Hey, this is Ariana Grande.
What's up, everybody? I'm Bozzy. This is Calvin Harris.
This is Camila Cabello.
Hey, I'm Dua Lipa.
Hey guys, I'm Halsey.
Hey, what's up? It's Lau.
Hey everyone.
This is Salade.
It's Selena.
This is Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Taylor Swift.
This is Zed.
This is K-Joy.
This is Vincent R. What's up, guys? Twitch and Scratch. You're listening to DaBooth312 on WIIT 88.9 FM Chicago.
And this is fresh.
Reaching the World Entertainment presents The Booth. Check us out every Sunday on WIIT 88.9 FM in Chicago, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Download that free app, tune in, and get the best sounds of the underground with The Booth.
Oh, welcome to our show, 88.9 FM in effect right here, man, Chicago. What's happening, everybody? Glad you're tuning in and with us today. We got Rick Johnson in the house, and we also have Samaj J supposed to be coming in later. Samaj J or Samuja or Smooge, Sama, so all of that, the Lube Man and Black Thor. So,
Lube Man.
He's
still with that, huh?
Yeah, the Lube Man, so we got it going. So a lot of interesting things have been happening with weather and our country and all those great things. So at the end of the day, let's get into them. So I was just talking about the R. Kelly thing. So, do we think it's fair for him to be in federal prison?
I don't know. Did he commit a federal crime? I guess, I don't know. There's so much feedback on this. There's so much coming up. The fact that, the girls are, the 2 of the girls that are in this latest, ordeal are saying that, they're living in Trump Towers right now, and they're free to come and go as they want. Nobody's holding them back from where they want to be. Their parents know where they're at. If he did it, he did it. But come on, all the parents are knowing about this.
I'm thinking it's a thing where they couldn't get him on one charge. They're trying to
and they're going to keep trying.
They're going to keep trying to get him on something.
But be a federal charge, the only way is about crossing state lines. That's the only way I could see that, if it's a crossing state lines aspect. But, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. They can try to get him on everything and anything they can. But I agree with you. I think it's the fact that they couldn't get him on one case. They're going to try to get him on another. And I'm curious about that. Ron, what do you think?
I think that anytime you have a police officer convicted for manslaughter, which you have Officer Van Dyke got tried by a jury of his peers, found guilty, and only got 8 years in prison for manslaughter.
Yes.
And yet you put R. Kelly in jail he didn't commit a crime as of yet. He didn't kill anybody. No one is dead because of his actions, but you won't allow this guy bail, and you put him in federal prison, and you do all this stuff, but Officer Van Dyke looks forward to doing 4 years in jail for killing a teenager, committed murder, and he only gets 8 years, but he's only going to serve 4 years of that 8-year sentence. So, you can even look at the governor. You got Blagojevich, or whatever his name is.
Blagojevich.
LaGoya is in jail, and they're asking Trump to pardon his sentence to release him early, but he didn't commit any heinous crimes. He didn't murder nobody. And he served longer than what Officer Van Dyke is going to serve for murdering somebody. So I got an issue with that.
Well, look at the other multimillionaire. I can't think of his name right offhand, but that committed all the molestation and rapes, over 100, and he's under house arrest. He's still free to go and come and do his jobs and do all of those things.
Are you talking about Kraft?
Yeah. Yeah,
the owner of the Patriots.
Yeah, and then you have a monitor on your. I mean, really? I mean, they couldn't have did that for Kels, where he could continue to make his living and all that. But no.
But you got to realize, Kraft was one of Trump's biggest financial supporters.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the difference. You know, the justice system is different for people with money versus people without money, people of color, and people, you know, lacking of pigmentation. So you have to look at it from a couple of different aspects when it comes to that. Should R. Kelly be in federal prison? No, he shouldn't be in federal prison. I vehemently believe that, even though some of the things that he's done or being accused of doing are kind of iffy. But you also have to look at another thing. Let's think about the statute of limitations on this. So what you were saying, Rob, is simple. They couldn't get him because the statute of limitations on some of the charges had already lapsed. Unlike what Ron was saying, murder has no statute of limitations.
Yeah.
Okay. Sexual assault does. You have to file charges within, if I remember correctly, 7 years or 7 to 10 years of the initial crime. If you didn't and you come forward, yes, they can still try, and that's the issue. That's the key word, try to prosecute. But if your so-called victim isn't willing to testify or isn't willing to come forward, you don't really, as a state's attorney or attorney general, you don't have the option to try him. So now they have to come up with something else, which is, from what I've read, is what they're doing.
Well, I mean, it's going to be a huge debate, and it's some people of color and you know, that feel, yeah, let's send them through the ringer like they did Bill Cosby and all that. Okay, weed is getting ready to get approved very soon. Everybody gets to go bait. So how about this? So should guys and people men and women that have been locked up for nickel and dime bags that are doing 30 and 40 years for a bag, should they be released now that it's legal?
Supposedly they are.
Yeah, I was just going to say there's already works in place that they're pushing for, that once it becomes legalized, that all of them are getting their pardons. And I don't know if they're going to pro bono everything backtrack as far as that, or, you know what I'm saying, for the pre-arrest, if they're going to take it off their records, or if they're going to leave it from the time on.
From what I understand, it's still going to be on their record. They're still going to have a conviction for possession and distribution of a controlled substance. But it's going to be a caveat to that, like a little asterisk, like with the Barry Bonds home runs. It's going to be an asterisk saying that, you know, now that this substance has been legalized, this conviction isn't as hard of a conviction as you would expect. Or, you know, it's not like you were selling heroin to someone, or it's not like you were selling PCP to someone. This conviction is now considered a misdemeanor.
Well, give it time. Shrooms are going to be legal as well. So that's the next thing on the debates right now. They're pushing that to legalize that in Colorado. And Colorado was the forefront as far as the states go of legalization of pot. So if they got that push, and it sounds like they're going to get this push as well, looks like they'll be coming this way as well. So the way I see it, and this is just a personal thing, look, you want to do any drug, go ahead. If you're a grown adult, you want to do anything, if you OD, hey, God bless you, goodbye. You know the risk to it. Do your thing, whatever. As long as it doesn't harm anyone else, you know what I mean? But I shouldn't have, you know, what the saddest part is, though, is these addicts out there that are getting all the free Narcans and all this stuff to keep them alive that don't really care if they stay alive. But we have people with cancer and other things that are fighting to try to stay alive, don't have the money to stay alive. but our government won't give anything free to them. That's my biggest aspect of it. So you know what? If you know the risks and you're going to do it, God bless you. You know, do what you got to do. But we got people that are trying to live and survive, and they can't get help to do that. So,
Yeah, bro. I totally feel you, man.
You know, the only thing I can
not yet. Wait till it's legal.
Okay.
We got no lollipops in here today. All right, go ahead.
You got it. The only thing I can hope is that Illinois does what Colorado did with the windfall that they got when they legalized marijuana. You know, Colorado originally came out with the first medicinal dispensaries, like you said.
Yeah.
And then they were in the forefront of legalizing it for recreational use. Now, they have basically eliminated almost all of their state's debt. Now they have a surplus. They're building schools. They're fixing their roadways. All of these things are coming from the profits and the taxes that people are paying for that substance. So let's see if Illinois can follow suit and do that.
Good luck with that, because of all the issues we've had with Illinois, with Crook County and everything else.
Exactly.
Let's see if those funds actually go to where they're supposed to go.
Rick James died too early. You know what I'm saying?
You know,
I mean, Rick, he died too early. I mean, he would have been like, "Whoa,
you know,
Mary."
That's my thing. It's like you can look at the numbers and look at the figures. That's public record. And you can see how much money this brings in. So it depends to me whether or not they are going to use these funds correctly.
Yeah, man. Well, we'll have to wait and see on that one. All right, guys, let us know what you think about the whole issue with R. Kelly. And also, what do you think about the legalization of marijuana? If you think that's going to be a benefit to the state of Illinois and Chicagoland area. If you think your government is actually going to spend the money in the right direction. So let us know what you think. When we come back, guys, we're going to get to know more about Rick Johnson. So stick around right here for more to come on the DaBooth312 on WIT 88.9 FM in Chicago and DaBoothRadio.com.
now you gotta have and get it from me. I can give you what you want so naturally. Every beat of my heart beats with your heart too. Every dream that I have, I'm dreaming of you. What will it take to make you understand how to do it for you? Let me show you I can. Love so true, waiting right here for you. Look nowhere else, we gotta see this through.
But here, I'm still your sweet little girl. Can't forget the memories
Hey, this is Ariana Grande.
What's up, everybody? I'm Bozzy. This is Calvin Harris.
This is Camila Cabello.
Hey, I'm Dua Lipa.
Hey guys, I'm Halsey.
Hey, what's up? It's Lau.
Hey everyone.
This is Salada.
It's Selena.
This is Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Taylor Swift.
This is Zed.
This is K-Joy.
This is Vincent R. What's up, guys? Twitch and Scratch. You're listening to Booth 312 on WIIT 88.9 FM Chicago.
And this is fresh.
All right, we're back, and we're here with Rick Johnson that forgot how long he knew me.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Okay, so let's go into Rick. Rick, we're gonna ask you the same old cliche questions. What got you started into DJing and the whole shebang? And remember, I know, so go ahead.
Well, I mean, you remember back when I was running around behind you when we did that thing over at South Shore Country Club, and I still had a cast on my foot, but that's a different story. What got me started? Well, there are two people that were really instrumental in getting me into this, which was Steve Poindexter and John Hunt. Both of them are related to me, unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever way you want to look at it. I don't know if they claim me or not, but hey, it is what it is. So as a 10, 11-year-old, I was running around behind Steve and John with Ken Samuels and some of the other people out there. And I was interested in what Steve was doing, and his brother Tony, mixing, doing steppers parties and stuff like that. So I wanted to get involved in music. A few years down the road, I think around 81 is when Wall to Wall Sounds and RSS started doing Mendel, and I started doing stuff with them and did my high school Hales, did Unity, all these other fun places back in the 80s. And it just became a love adventure for me. And I loved the music even before it became known as house music, because back in '79 when I was playing records with Rocky Floyd in his dad's living room across the street from our grammar school, it was still disco. Peach Boys, Human League, things of that nature was some of the stuff that we were playing back then. And it just kept going from there. I stopped for a long period of time after my first daughter was born, which was 98, and I didn't start back again until 2012.
How was that gap in time for you? How did you feel not playing?
I was still playing, except I was just playing for myself. I would go down, and I had a little studio set up, and I would go and put on some vinyl and play. But I wasn't out in the public eye, and that's where a lot of people, for some odd reason, think that I'm actually new to the scene and things of that nature, because that 1998 to 2012 gap, that's a big time to be gone off the scene and become quote unquote irrelevant, and then have to try to build a name back up again.
Well, technically, and I guess, is that, and I mean, I'm just asking a question. This is not a S-starter or a S-whole country thing, as Trump would say. I'm just asking a question. So and I'm even speaking in terms of when I had my gap. So because when I came back in full force, it was as if I had to rebrand and start all over again. So is that something, you are kind of back new to the scene as opposed to being in the scene? This is an opinion, I'm just asking. So is that something that you consider or would you say, well, okay, yeah, he did play back in the day, so he's not new to the scene. Well, I was relevant to the scene from this period to this period at that time, you know, then I have this gap, and then I'm back here again from this point present. So, I mean, how do we actually look at that? And that's just a question.
I mean, it's a good question. And from how I have been able to see things from a promoting standpoint, from a playing standpoint, things of that nature, you know, again, it goes back to that relevancy. You know, according to some, I'm irrelevant. What I did before, you know, with wall-to-wall sounds and John and Steve has no bearing on what I'm doing now. And
which it should, it's still part of your lineage.
But according to the young guns that are out there and some of the older guns, it doesn't matter. You know, I wasn't there.
Well, he said something. The young guns, okay. All right, so the young guns, well, they're going to say that anyway because they're trying to have some kind of relevancy now. And I think some of the younger guys that are good, I'm not saying they're not good, have an issue with guys in the past to a certain degree. And for you to acknowledge guys in the past means that it takes, you know, light away from them. So they throw shade on the other guys, you know what I mean? You know, and I think that's unfortunate. And the only reason why I asked that question, because I hear this from a lot of guys. People say I'm new on the scene. Man, I've been spinning since this and since that. And then you'll hear somebody say, what have you done lately? You know, that makes you relevant, and why should anybody care? And I think that's kind of a cold-blooded statement, but is it? I mean, so again,
it's cold, but it's true. I mean,
it's true. I
we
mean,
always say truth hurts. You know,
and I look at it this way: when I started back again in 2012, it had nothing to do with house music. You know, I was doing other types of events. I wasn't really playing a lot of house music. I was playing more. I still don't play hip hop, so I wasn't playing hip hop. I was playing more contemporary, top 40, rock, and things of that nature, because those were the events that were paying the bills at the time. And so, with that being said, you know, I still never really lost the love or the desire to play what I grew up playing.
And you brought up a very good statement, and you know, is okay. Let's go to the term paying the bills. So, I've heard some DJs come down on other DJs because they started playing a different style or a different genre of music because, hey, right now this is what's paying, and they say, oh, well, you're not no real hardcore house DJ because you don't play this and you don't play that, and or we can't classify you as house because you doing tech house and you doing that, and that's garbage, and it's, you know, and I'm that those statements irritate me, you know, but
you and
again,
me both.
Huh?
You and me both, because I just heard a rumor on the South Side, and it was told to me that it was said in a jokingly manner, but it bothers me because I was told that it was being said that all I play is tech house because that's where I play on the North Side. And I'm like, when the person that told me that said, they obviously don't watch the show, or they haven't been a part of the show, because I played all genres of house music here. We all do. Between just the three of us sitting here, we play just about all genres of house. So for someone to sit back and say all he plays is tech house, I'm like, they never listened to me play. So there's already a stippler out there that if I wouldn't have heard it, I wouldn't have known that there's a new hurdle for me to overcome, which is not fair to me because for those that listen to me know I play it all.
Well, let's use Maurice for instance. Titan has proven himself to be a good remix editor and DJ, and he fell in love with house. He loves house. I remember Titan, you know, back in the day when we were younger, you know, and all Titan knew was hip hop, you know, or then rap music, you know.
Yeah.
And that was in the early 80s, you know. So they still classify him today. They say, oh, yeah, Titan can bang the box and he can play, you know, good house music. but he's still a hip hop DJ. And I said, well, let's take the titles off of things and can't we just say he's a DJ?
Well, I don't know. Well, look, we've talked about this once before. I don't want to get into it too much. And, with what Rick's saying right now, this kind of falls into that classification. We said it before, there are different types of DJs. There's a club DJ. There's a event DJ that can do weddings and parties and stuff like that. There's a radio DJ, those who come on the radio and talk and also can do what else they have to do. So there are different classifications, and there are a few others. What Rick's talking about, though, it holds light where there's some that they cannot multitask. They cannot do, let's say, a club scene and then go and DJ a party. And I've seen that before where when you talk about the hip hop, there was this one DJ that's all he did is hip hop. That's all he knew. He went and tried to do a baptism party for a family, and all he's playing is hip hop. Everyone's looking at him like, "Are you serious? You're gonna play this here?" Knowing your crowd, knowing what to do, where you're going. Rick paying the bills. You're doing the parties, doing the rock and this and that. Hey, it's making you money.
Right.
So you really got to figure, right? I mean, what is it you're looking for? You're looking for just the showcasing, or you're looking for the money?
My thing is this. It goes, to me, it goes hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about this before, whereas, the community, the house community is so saturated with DJs now. You can walk 5 feet and run into somebody who's a DJ.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, what if I tried to take one of those house DJs and take them with me next month when I have to do a corporate event?
Right.
All right. So how are you gonna perform? What are you gonna perform?
Mm-hmm.
If this is the genre that
mm-hmm.
and this is all that and this is what you play, how are you gonna perform in a corporate setting?
Mm-hmm.
When as much as I hate taking requests when I'm doing corporate events, I still have to take requests.
Yeah.
I still have to play what's heard on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
I still have to play songs that I wouldn't normally play and that I wouldn't even play around my child or my children, I should say.
Yep.
So I look at it in different ways, in different avenues. I mean, look, I've been doing this really since '79. All right. And some of the people out there that are doing it now weren't even born when I was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Derek, he cracked on me, but yeah, I forgot how long I've known Derek. I mean, it's one of those things that when you're around somebody, I'll tell a story, and I don't know if Derek remembers it, but he's the one who pierced my ear for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
In his basement. The earring that I have in my lower earlobe.
You a bad dude. Because I don't play.
I see where the bad influences come from. Okay.
All right.
I'm not playing. See, and you're in the medical field. We're not trying to disclose all your business, but you're in the medical field. And when I learned how to do tracheas, going through EMT training, I said, there's no way I'm going to stick a tube down someone's nose or cut somebody's throat to do a trachea for them to breathe, or even put a pinhole in their chest if it's a sunken chest wound. I couldn't do that as a living. So that you had Derek in a basement
with a needle.
Was it
sterile?
Probably lit it on
Was it sterile?
with a lighter.
Needle and some thread and some ice.
And some ice. Don't forget the alcohol, though. We
Drinking or rubbing?
Rubbing alcohol. So, yeah,
we were too dumb to know that we should have got, well, maybe I shouldn't have drunk because he really would have been screwed up.
You look like you piercing up here.
I mean, so
he would have the neck piercing.
So this is what I mean. This is the type of thing a lot of people don't realize, and just because they don't see me and they haven't seen me, and the only time they really and what they've seen recently is me being connected with Steve. Well, he's just riding Steve's coattails. I'm like, dude, Steve taught me. John taught me. Lil John taught me. Ferris taught me.
Well, then actually, I guess, you are riding his coattails because you started riding it years ago. But
exactly. I mean,
there's nothing wrong with that either. You've been riding for a long time.
When I use the term instead of riding coattails, I followed in the footsteps because, when you think about that term riding coattails, that you can ride for so long, but then are you still riding the coattails, or have you started making your own footprints in the sand? And for all you guys sitting here, even with myself, we all have had our chance to ride on a coattail of someone that we admire or we respect in the business, but now are we making our own paths?
And so like with all the stuff that I'm doing now, I have attached Steve to it out of respect, but they're still my events.
Yeah, no,
they're still my workings. It's still my hustle. It's still my grind. And that's what a lot of people don't see. They say, oh, well, he's Steve's little cousin, so that's why they put him on.
Well, it comes to the point of humility too. If you're humble enough to know, what you created, what you did. A lot of people will know even this show is more of like a Derek Jones because of his background, this and that. But Derek always gives me the respect, the fact that I started this. But I mean, I give much love to him for doing he does, and he's been doing just like I'm sure you do with Steve and everything. But being humble enough to sit there and don't always have to beat your own chest. As long as you're still getting paid behind it, hey, I'll be the man behind the curtain. Just keep paying me. And that's just me. I don't know about you, but I mean, being the forefront sometimes is a good thing. Sometimes you don't have to.
I think what happened with the coattail, right? People start using it in a negative connotation rather than a good, meaning, oh, you're a user, you just trying to, as they go in the door, you want to slide in with them. But when you think about it, when I was dealing with the Ron Hardys and Farleys and all of that, it was more of a, hey, let's come along, let's go. So basically, I jumped on their coattail and slid in because that's how I got in the door.
Yeah, I get you.
So was it that I was using them, or was it that they ushered me in? And then on the flip side, in Rick's situation, this is my way of paying homage. So, I think what guys got to do, a lot of them, because we're so oversaturated and so competitive, everybody just got to kind of like get over themselves.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Rick, all right, we're running a little short on this time. Real quick, how can people find out more about Rick Johnson?
Well, you got my company's website, which is icecoldlimited.weebly.com. We're at Base Camp one Sunday a month for a day party, which is out in the western suburbs. So if anybody wants to, venture past their comfort zone and head out to the suburbs, I'm more than happy to have them come out, check things out, see how this place works, and see how it runs. One of the real important cool things is that we have an all-Catholic school reunion coming up August 23rd through August 25th. It's a 3-day event. You got some really awesome Catholic school DJs. I'm going to be one of them. Craig Alexander, Sean Hardison, Craig Elliott, just to name a few from my alma mater, which was Hales. And those are the things that we got coming up right now.
All right, sounds good. All right, guys, so you get a chance to hear Rick throwing down live, so stick around right here for more to come on DaBooth312, broadcasting from WIT 88.9 FM in Chicago and DaBoothRadio.com.
Baby, if you want me to stay the night, I can stay the night through. Want me to stay the night, I can stay the night through. Stay the night through. If you only want to stay alive, I can stay alive. stay the night. I can stay the night through. Stay the night through. Tonight's the night we're gonna make it happen. Tonight we'll put all other things aside. Get in this time and show me some affection. We're going for those pleasures in the night. I want to love you, I feel you, I wrap myself around you. I want to squeeze you, believe you, I just can't get enough. And if you move real slow, I let it go. And I just can't hide it. I'm about to lose control and I think I like it. I'm so excited and I just can't hide it. I know I want you. I'm about to lose control, 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 I'm about to lose control and I think I like it. Around you, I want to squeeze you, please you, I just can't get enough. And if you move real slow, I let it go. I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. excited. I'm about to lose control and I think I like it. I'm so excited and I just can't hide it. I know I want you. I'm about to lose control and I think I like it. We shouldn't even think about sweet memories will last a long, We'll have a good time, baby. And if the rest is playing around, boy, let's get inside. And we just get high. I'm about to lose control and I think I like it. I'm so excited. And I just get high. I want you. I'm so excited. Now this is how it started. My dreams all broken hearted. Yet I want you, baby. We'll never be the same, 'cause you played those silly games, and yet I want you, girl. They say we were an item. My thoughts I try and hide them. Did I need you? But when we get down to it, I just love the way you do it, and I love you. Love can't turn around. another, a new you. So written in my letters, don't you make me feel any better, 'cause it's not true. Now in my secret visions, forget about decisions, girl, I want you. I've got to have you near me, girl, I wonder, do you hear me, girl, I love you. Look and turn around. Look and turn around. Look and turn around. Look and turn around.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
At St. Jude, a family never sees a bill at all, not one bill. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
The treatment doesn't get any better than what you receive at St. Jude. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
Hey, this is Ariana Grande.
What's up, everybody? I'm Bonzi. This is Calvin Harris.
This is Camila Cabello.
Hey, I'm Dua Lipa.
Hey guys, I'm Halsey.
Hey, what's up? It's Lau.
Hey everyone.
This is Salada.
It's Selena.
This is Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Taylor Swift.
This is Zed.
This is K-Joy.
This is Vincent R. What's up, guys? Twitch and Scratch. You're listening to Booth 312 on WIIT 88.9 FM in Chicago.
And this is fresh.
NLS Bard gives patrons the freedom to read their way.
Bard is this beautiful web-based program for searching for books and for the ability to download them.
For more information, call 1-888-NLS-READ.
Reaching the World Entertainment presents The Booth. Check us out every Sunday on WIIT 88.9 FM in Chicago, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Download that free app, tune in, and get the best sounds of the underground with The Booth.
loving kindness. Jaded is what I was before I knew you. Now patient is what I am trying to get to you.
Hey, this is Ariana Grande.
What's up, everybody? I'm Bozzy. This is Calvin Harris.
This is Camila Cabello.
Hey, I'm Dua Lipa.
Hey guys, I'm Halsey.
Hey, what's up? It's Lau.
Hey everyone.
This is Salada.
It's Selena.
This is Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Taylor Swift.
This is Zed.
This is K-Joy.
This is Vincent R. What's up, guys? Twitch and Scratch. You're listening to Booth 312 on WIIT 88.9 FM in Chicago.
And this is fresh. Jack. Jack your body, 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 Jack your body,
Hey, this is Ariana Grande.
What's up, everybody? I'm Bozzy. This is Calvin Harris.
This is Camila Cabello.
Hey, I'm Dua Lipa.
Hey guys, I'm Halsey.
Hey, what's up? It's Lau.
Hey everyone.
This is Salada.
It's Selena.
This is Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Taylor Swift.
This is Zed.
This is K-Joy.
This is Vincent R. What's up, guys? Twitch and Scratch. You're listening to Booth 312 on WIIT 88.9 FM Chicago.
And this is fresh.
All right, we're back. We just got out the mix with Rick Johnson. Hope you guys enjoyed it, man. Having a good time. Man, we've been having some great behind-the-scenes conversations, you know, with my boy Samaj. We're going to let him talk and get it in and get a little history.
Yeah, getting them to talk ain't the problem. Stopping it.
Get a little history. Okay. Of where he came from, you know, if you guys watch and know him, you know, he is very animated when he DJs, kind of like our boy DJ Turk, very animated. You know, when Turk, if you're watching, when you're not blowing tweeters and subwoofers and stuff, cranking stuff too high. But you my boy, man. But at the end of the day, man, let's move it over, brother. What got you in the spinning one? And then you did enlighten us on the fact that, you moved here from another location. So let's start with a couple of those things right there. So let's start from your transition, is starting the DJing and then coming to Chicago.
Okay, well, let's see. Let's go back. Oh, let's go back. Let's
Way
see.
back.
Way back. Okay.
Back into time.
Well, let's see. I was I guess I got to out myself, but I'm a gay guy, and I was in high school, and it was a couple gay guys that told me about after hours in Detroit. And it was a place called Heavens, and it opened up at 2:00 in the morning. And so I had went with him, and it was a DJ there named Ken Collier. And he was just like, I'm pretty sure like when everybody, first meet they, the love of their life, the house music, it was attractiveness that, that wore on real thick, I should say. And so I then realized that the dude in the booth that's playing the music is getting paid to do it. And so I was like, that's my job.
You said, that's my job. I want that job.
Okay. Yeah, so I said, that's my job and that's what I want. And so, I thought I moved to Vegas. I'm actually born in Vegas. I moved there to Detroit from, with my grandparents and all this stuff, then moved back to Vegas. And so then I, kind of went around the country, and then I've always wanted to move to Chicago, but I was almost like afraid what we were talking about earlier. And but I had a picture of the city on my wall, so I always believe in if you say it and you see it every day, it'll come to fruition. So when the recession hit, I think that was like 2008, the recession hit and Las Vegas laid off everybody and their mama because no visitors was coming. So, that's a tourist city. So if no visitors coming, nobody has a job. So I took my unemployment and I moved here to Chicago. So, because it was between, I really wanted to move to Chicago, but then I was like, I should go to New York. But then Chicago won out because I was like, I just need to go here. So, and I always thought that I could compete with the big boys. And so I was like, well, if it don't work out, I can always bring my butt back home.
Gotcha.
Was that hard for you to keep it clean?
Yes.
Samaj, I know you was about to say a couple of words. You saw you was turning sideways, right?
He's already getting his finger on the button.
Right. Yeah. Because like I said, if I always failed at it, at least I can say I tried.
There you go.
And I would not be 65 saying, I wish I could have.
Exactly.
And I should have.
Exactly. What genres, move you the most?
Oh, house music, of course.
Yeah, just straight house,
yes.
No particular...
No.
Any subgenre of house that's... Afro, soulful.
Yeah, he's Afro.
Well, I love Afro. I don't kind of like label. I don't do the genre house thing because it's all house to me. Because there's some good tech house, or there's some good, Afro beat. There's some good other stuff. That you can mix into the fold with it, and nobody will even tell a difference.
Can you say that again, though?
What?
I love how you said that. That's some good tech house. You
I mean,
appreciate
it could
all of
be.
it.
I mean, you know, if you do it right.
And he's a Southside DJ.
If you do it right, see, that's the thing. People just try to throw it in there, and it, you know, it don't go together.
Yeah.
But if it's done right and presented correctly, it'll fly over and nobody. Fly Life, you know, the Basement Jack song. That's a techno record. You know, that want to go.
No, I get you. I mean, yesterday I was doing Jacking House with some electro.
I mean, that's techno. You know what I'm saying? And that's like one of the, you put that on right now, and that would just blow the kids, you know, mind up. So it all depends on how it's presented, and you know, it's about the presentation of it.
No, definitely.
Okay. Well, the other thing, man, what got you was it a thought in your mind? Said, well, man, because we were speaking earlier, and you were talking about what separates you. Is your animation part of that, or is that just a thing where your spirit body just feels the music and it just happened to connect with your persona of how people see you now? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's a lot of it. It's like a combination of everything, because without the beat, I couldn't do the move. And so my thing is too, is that I'm not gonna play nothing that I can't party off of.
Thank you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, I mean, how can I play this record and I don't even like it? Or, you know, you done heard, and you done heard it 5 times, you know, because it was 5 other DJs that had played it, you know, prior before you got there. So, I mean, whatever it is, you know, it's the beat, it's the rhythm, it's the movement. You know, I was a dancer first. So, you know, I was in the circles, I was kicking my leg, you know, I used to do splits and all that other. I mean, you name it, that's what I did. I can't do it now, but yeah, I did do all of that. So like I said, I was on the floor first, and I got the appreciation. I think that was more of appreciation to me.
You still can't do the dead drop, man.
No. Dead drop, but yeah, I might could do it, but then it's probably gonna be an annual. Right, just have an ambulance on standby, please. Yes, just have that on standby.
Oh, they call it the death drop.
Yes, the death drop.
Right.
No,
You gonna die
no.
if you do it.
Yeah. Okay, your leg or something gonna be messed up.
But we, you know, so I mean, do you have any SoundClouds, any
Yes,
sites?
yes. I'm on SoundCloud. I'm on Mixcloud. I also have a YouTube page. I'm on Twitter, Instagram. What would you do for some paper? No, I'm just kidding. No.
How would they find you? How would they find you on there? Because we're gonna get in a deeper conversation.
It just seemed like they needed to go there.
Yeah, it fit though. Yeah. Like a nice edit. It just went right.
But so I'm on, you know, basically every you know, DJ kind of platform. I have a podcast. I have all of that. So yes, Live Me.
So is it DJ?
Yes, DJ Samaj. Yes, SEMAJ. It's just James spelled backwards.
Duh. Makes sense. See, now if I was high and hanging upside down when I looked at his name, I'd be like, oh man, did you see that?
He said James spelled backwards. We went.
See, you learn stuff. When y'all pay attention. Because everybody's thinking, oh, he got the name because he's really from Zimbabwe.
Okay, right.
It's amazing the stories people come up with.
Just James backwards. Yeah.
Just keeping it simple. Yeah.
Right. It's very simple. Nothing complicated. Right. No, it's just my name. Yeah.
What is mine backwards? Curd.
No idea. Okay, right.
Let's see, mine's Rob, so it'd be Boar.
Hey, I think you gave me some. I might start.
Okay, right.
DJ Curred.
That ain't bad, actually.
But anyway, we were discussing thing earlier. I know he said you were. So we revamped. We were talking about the politics with DJs and the old and the new and the whining and all of that, and I saw you in the background just going,
yeah.
So what's your take on that?
Okay, here's the thing. Okay, I'm gonna start this with the topic of politics, because the thing that people don't know how to do is politic. You can be the greatest DJ in the entire world, but if you do not know how to shake hands and kiss babies, you would never go anywhere, because the people that need to put you on are the people that you need to shake hands with. If you do not go out, and that's what I was talking about, going out to people parties and stuff like that. Yes, you will get those, eventually you'll wear them down. Okay? But once you get that opportunity, you got to really show out. You got to make people remember you. And if you are not remembered, it's not the promoter, it's not the club, it's you. It's not the people, because the people, like I was saying earlier, the people love Big Mac. And Big Mac made billions of dollars off their Big Mac. And so they're not going to change their formula. So people vote with their feet. And if they like you, they're going to come and see you. And if they don't, I'm sorry.
Right.
But if it's not working, here's the thing too, where I was saying start over. If it's not working in a certain location, try somewhere else.
Exactly.
Now, if it don't work in the other location, bro, it's you.
Right.
Okay. But, try somewhere else, because Las Vegas is a hip-hop EDM location. So it didn't work for me. It didn't work. I'm okay with that. I'm going to go somewhere where I know there's a market, and I researched it. I met Stacy Kidd when I was at work at the Paris Hotel in Las Vegas. That's why I first met Stacy Kidd, actually, when him and his, not the current boo, but the old boo. But I had met him there, and I was like, and that was like kind of like the writing on the wall, like, you moving to Chicago, because I had met him at work, and I took him up to the tower and all that other stuff. But you gotta be able to reboot it. Just like your computer, if you get a virus or whatever, you push that hard button and wait for it to pop, and then it pop back on, and then it's okay. But you gotta reboot sometimes.
Right.
And it's not the people all the time. And what you put on Facebook matters, because, and this is what I mean by, I'm still keep standing in this lane of politics, because what you post on Facebook could stop me from booking you. Because if you always on there griping, okay.
I got my finger on it. I'm ready.
If you always griping, and not only that, you are talking crap about the powers that be. I'm sorry. The powers that be have the ears of the masses. And yes, they can sink you. And I'm sorry, because they have the ears of the masses. And so you can't, if you're trying to make it in this business, you can't be doing stuff like that. If you got a gripe with, the Chosen Few or whatever it is, or whatever, the Weed Festival or your mama's festival, whatever festival, call somebody. Pick up the phone. Derek, brother.
I don't
Okay. I need to talk to you and get some stuff off my chest. But social media is not the platform to do that. And doing that kind of stuff makes you unbookable. And the thing is that you want to be bookable. And just from what you post and say on Facebook, just lets me know I don't even want to be bothered with you.
Hey, Derek, was Samaj at your seminar about all this stuff?
No, and that's why I was actually going to go and interject with him. Here's the interesting, and this is why I 100% agree with my boy here, is that I had so many inboxes, texts, guys calling me, please do this. Please get us on the air. Please get us in a situation where we can talk about this thing in house music. And how do this happen? And how does that happen? And I said, okay. I said, well, we do the seminar every year, and we always do it at Prairie State, same time every year. So I even went and did one better, because guys was talking about, I want to play overseas. I want to do this and that. So I went and got a DJ booking agent. I went and guys talking about they want to produce and make music. I got one of the top master recording engineers in Chicago. Brought him in to help guys learn how to build their own home studios, get the perfect sound. I brought in an attorney because other guys were talking about, yeah, well, how would I start my own label? How would I get publishing? How would I do rights? And who should I register with? And how do I get involved with the Grammys? Had all of these people and all the guys that bitched and complained about all of these things and wanted all of this stuff didn't show. And I said, from that point, I posted on Facebook, I said, I'm done trying to help people. I said, you know, at this point, you know, I brought everything to the table that you asked for. The guy was prepared to come in and review guys, get information from them to see if he can book them, send them overseas. Let me see what your bio's like. Let me see. And then he even printed us a form that showed you how to make your own press kits and everything and the best places to do them. And he was going to show everybody and possibly sign people that day, because I told him, hey man, there's some great DJs in Chicago and there's some guys that really wanted to get booked and all of this stuff. And then some guys would hit me up, yeah, I wanted to come, my dog died, it was the cat. I didn't care at that point. I didn't care, and I mean, forgive me, I didn't care if the horse you rode in died before you got to the building. It didn't matter to me, because if it was something that you wanted that bad, you should have had your butt there. You know, you had somebody front money, put up something for you that really didn't benefit me, it benefited you, and you didn't take advantage of it. Yeah. Shoot me in my face if I do it for you again. I hear you. So the next thing that I do now, you know, we will be charging for it. You come or don't come, because it'll be the same scenario as this one, but I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing and bringing in people that can educate and help the masses. But getting back to what you were saying, I think more people get on Facebook because, again, you were talking about the violin thing. You would rather somebody feel sorry for you and book you, or you would rather somebody book you because you complain so much about it, than to put in the work and get booked, or put in the work and get with somebody. You know, everybody talking about, I want to do this and that, but what are you bringing to the table? Yeah. If everybody say, oh, well, how come I get on the Music Alliance Fest? What do you bring to the table to help the Music Alliance Fest?
All right, Derek, we got to cut it short. We're already over the time. Samaj, real quick again, what is the best place for people to find out about Samaj?
You can go on Facebook, like I said, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those other good things. Yeah, all of that stuff.
All right, guys. Sounds good. Stick around right here. You guys are going to get a chance to hear Samaj throw down for you guys, get a little sample on that. So stick around for more to come on the Booth Radio, DaBooth312, here on WIT 88.9 FM and DaBoothRadio.com.
We served our country like those before us.
You know, it was a dangerous area. All of Vietnam was dangerous.
The carnage of war left an indelible mark on me.
We came back and built lives. As time went on, we faced new challenges and found support to handle them.
I went to the VA, talked to my doctor. I started doing groups. I started doing one-on-one counseling.
At MakeTheConnection.net, you can hear our stories and find tools and services available to you.
Hey, this is Ariana Grande.
What's up, everybody? I'm Bozzy. This is Calvin Harris.
This is Camila Cabello.
Hey, I'm Dua Lipa.
Hey, guys, I'm Halsey.
Hey, what's up? It's Loud.
Hey, everyone.
This is Salade.
It's Selena.
This is Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Taylor Swift.
This is Zed.
This is K-Joy.
This is Vincent R. What's up, guys? Twitch and Scratch. You're listening to Booth 312 on WIIT 88.9 FM Chicago.
And this is fresh.
America's wounded warriors are coming home. After serving on foreign shores, these brave men and women are returning to their families and communities. Many have wounds you can see, and many have wounds you can't see, like post-traumatic stress disorder. Now that these warriors are back home, they are ready to enter the civilian workforce. To help, Wounded Warrior Project has developed the Warriors to Work program, a career counseling service that helps warriors translate their military experience to the civilian workplace. These extraordinary men and women bring proven world-class job skills and a unique perspective on teamwork to the job. And to ensure the right warrior finds the right job, Wounded Warrior Project works with employers to find just the right match. When you hire a wounded warrior, you hire an intelligent, talented, and committed new employee. Contact Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home the brave.
Reaching the World Entertainment presents The Booth. Check us out every Sunday on WIIT 88.9 FM in Chicago, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Download that free app, tune in, and get the best sounds of the underground with The Booth.
shall speak of the wretched sea that watch ships to these shores, of mothers crying for their young swallowed up by the sea. This poem shall say nothing new. This poem shall speak of time, time unlimited, time undefined. This poem shall call names, names like Lumumba, Kenyatta, Nkrumah, Hannibal, Akhenaton, Malcolm, Garvey, Haile Selassie. This poem is vexed about apartheid, racism, fascism, the Ku Klux Klan, riots in Brixton, Atlanta, Jim Jones. This poem is revolting against first world, second world, third world, division, man-made decision. This poem is like all the rest. This poem will not be amongst great literary works, will not be recited by poetry enthusiasts. It will not be quoted by politicians nor men of religion. This poem is knives, guns, bombs, blazing for freedom. Yes, this poem is a drum, a shanty, mama, Bibo, Yoruba, Nayapingi warriors, Yohuru, Yohuru Namibia, Yohuru Soweto, Yohuru Africa.
Hey, this is Ariana Grande.
What's up, everybody? I'm Bozzy. This is Calvin Harris.
This is Camila Cabello.
Hey, I'm Dua Lipa.
Hey guys, I'm Halsey.
Hey, what's up? It's Lau.
Hey everyone.
This is Selena.
It's Selena.
This is Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Taylor Swift.
This is Zed.
This is K-Joy.
This is Vincent R. What's up, guys? Twitch and Scratch. You're listening to Booth 312 on WIIT 88.9 FM Chicago.
And this is Fresh.
Isn't that cute? An extra belly button. You need to put your pants back on, honey. Don't want no short man. Don't want no short man. short man. Pobrecito. ¿Qué diablo es eso? Pobrecito. ¿Qué diablo es eso?
Hey, this is Ariana Grande.
What's up, everybody? I'm Bozzy. This is Calvin Harris.
This is Camila Cabello.
Hey, I'm Dua Lipa.
Hey guys, I'm Halsey.
Hey, what's up? It's Lau.
Hey everyone.
This is Salade.
It's Selena.
This is Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Taylor Swift.
This is Zed.
This is K-Joy.
This is Vincent R.
What's up, guys? Twitch and Scratch. You're listening to Booth 312 on WIIT 88.9 FM Chicago.
And this is fresh.
We are back, and we just been laughing and talking without y'all listening and everything. So we're gonna start it again. But y'all can hear what we've been laughing and talking about, and some things y'all just can't hear what we was laughing and talking about. You know,
We talking about Maxine
In my Maxine Waters voice, I'm reclaiming my time, Derek.
there you go. So we gonna, without any further ado, here we go. So go ahead. Let's finish up. So we were talking about Paula. You had ended before you spun. By the way, nice set as usual. We had ended in we were segueing out of politics, and then you said there was a few things you wanted to tap on. So politics was one. What's the next?
Okay, the next is the law of attractiveness.
Okay.
The law of attractiveness means that some people are just attracted to other people, and they just don't gravitate towards you. It's a hard thing to kind of cope with. So, but there's other things that you can do to be attractive, and in another kind of field, if that may be what I want to say, because like for certain DJs, they have that attractiveness thing. They have something that draws them to them. Even if they suck the night, the people are still going to be at the party the next week.
Good thing it's not a family show. You're talking about sucking in and this and that.
Coming from the loop.
Well, first you gotta, clear your throat first, and breathe through your nose. Since we don't gonna talk about that,
right, so
breathe through your nose. Breathe.
I think our team
You gotta hear that.
canceling us.
Okay.
Go ahead. All right, so I want to hear this because this is. I think I see where he's going. This is a valid point. Okay,
I agree.
Okay.
Go ahead,
Yes.
Samaj.
And so it's just that, not that you're probably a bad DJ, it's just that people just not attracted to you, and it can be like that. And just like, for instance, like when you was in high school or something like that, and you wanted to hang with all the cool kids or whatever. It's not that, they probably did think you were whatever, but however, there is still, you're not in that attractiveness kind of group. And it's okay. That's okay. Because there are certain things that you can do behind the scenes. You can make the tracks. You can because some DJs have became producers, and now they're top DJs. So you can go to down another road to still kind of get to the goal where you want to be at. So just stop. Only thing I just say is just stop with the pity stuff. Stop with the Facebook posts that nobody will book me, nobody will do this, the click thing, all that other stuff. Yes, people, you have your own click. Everybody got their own clicks. That's just life. Roaches hang with roaches, rats hang with rats, bees hang with bees. We are probably the only species of, on the planet that, that kind of integrates with each other, but everything on this planet is cliquish. So the thing is when you do get into there, or you throw a party for the clique or whatever the heck it is, you still do your best. And that's one thing too, is that DJs don't understand that, nobody was at the party, so, I'm just not going to go ahead and give them my best.
Right. Tell them. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, let me tell you this.
You never know who's there, though.
You never know who is listening, because I have gotten gigs from 4-people crowds. People, and then you never know who the person is that is listening to you. They could have 5,000 friends on Facebook, and they can say, this DJ sucks, and it's over.
Right.
So anytime, like I said, if you that DJ and you, wait a minute, let me just say this last thing too. You must believe in your product. If you don't think that you have a good product and you're doubting your product, and that your product is your music and your presentation as a DJ, that's your product.
Exactly. Sell yourself.
Okay, so if you don't push it and you don't believe in it as hard as you think that people, then that's you.
Right.
If you don't want to go out and you don't want to go to the parties and you want to disrespect the hierarchy, because there is a hierarchy level to this thing.
Exactly.
And you want to disrespect the hierarchy, don't expect to get booked, because the masses follow the hierarchy. And the hierarchy says this and that and the other, and now you screwed.
And also, Samaj, you gotta, another thing is people don't
politics.
realize the world is small in that respect. Somebody knows somebody.
Yes.
So, I'm talking to you and I could be making negative comments about someone else.
Yes.
But you're close with that person. Now that person's like, what? I thought we were cool. Okay. I guess, we're not gonna mess around no more.
Right.
We find out the true colors about somebody. And, this business is really small.
Really, and
somebody knows somebody.
Yes, and I tell people this, is the higher you go, the smaller the crowd.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you may have 1,000 employees, but the people who own the companies in the neighborhood, that's only 3 or 4 people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yesterday was a prime example of that. And I was telling Ron, him and I, we were spinning at Taco and Tamale Fest, and we're sitting there talking, and people were coming up to me and were like, "You're Rob, right? You're Rob Wade, the booth." And I said, "Yeah." "Oh, man, we watch your show. We love you. And, I appreciate it. Thank you." And I was introducing Ron and people. And, it's just, again, you never know when people see you, where they see you, how they know you, in different respects. And again, be humble.
Yes.
Key thing, be humble.
That is.
It's
very,
it's not that hard.
It's not hard.
It's really not hard. People don't realize it, but you're absolutely right. And then Derek and I have talked about this once before about cliques. And having a clique is not a bad thing. There's good cliques, there's bad cliques. There's like you said, the cool crowd.
Yeah.
There's the nerd crowd.
Yes.
The geek squad. There's nothing wrong with cliques. You may not fit in one, but you may fit in the other. Who knows? You may fit in a few of them.
Thank you.
That's okay. There's nothing wrong with the cliques.
I was a nerd, you know what I'm saying? So
I thought you were a headbanger, the rockers and everything. Then you flipped.
Well, according to my peers, I was. Because think about it. I was a WLS kid coming up before I learned about house. And, like I said, my father would come in and see those posters of Kiss and, the pyramid from Pink Floyd and all that. My dad say, "Boy, I think you need an exorcist." And he's like, "Well, who are these people up here with these boots and all this makeup on?" I said, "Dad, that's Knights in Service of Satan." He was like, "Tear that down off the wall, boy. What you doing?"
Knights in Service of Satan.
But that was a clique that you hung out with. Your clique would not have been able to hang with my clique, which was the gay clique. So, I mean, it's just now, unless you had some big massive party or something like that, and where you made them integrate. But other than that, that's your clique. This is my clique. That's his clique over there.
Well,
that's Rob's clique.
Right.
I mean,
basement party.
It's just a factor of life. The whole thing is that you want to stop grouping people and look at everybody as one. You want to your goal is to be able to DJ for everybody. And if you keep this cliquist mentality that I'll never get nowhere because of this clique and that clique, and you not thinking about everybody, you shutting off in your mind mentally, you're shutting off a good portion of the people. The way I think is that I don't think about these different cliques and stuff like this because I mingle and I integrate with everybody.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Because that's the way you're supposed to politic.
Exactly.
You're supposed to mingle no matter what clique they in. I mean, I've heard about some of these kids past, excuse that word. I've heard some about these kids past, and I can't judge them on it because they've been nothing nice to me and they done looked out for me. So, I mean, all that other stuff plays into whatever it is. As long as you nice and you decent to everybody, people will still mess with you no matter what kind of clique you in. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, once you get that opportunity and once you get a chance to shine and show your skill, it is up to you. The ball is in your court. If your billions is not tight, if your music is not tight, if you're not putting out that great product that you supposed to think that you have, then you're subject to failure.
And you can be delusional about your
product.
product.
And you can be delusional and just think that, oh, nobody knows. No.
Well, yeah, and
You
I agree
know.
with you. And having the best friend isn't the friend that sits there and always, yeah,
Thank
you're
you.
great. Yeah, you didn't mess up nothing. No, the friend for you tell you know what,
Yeah.
dude, that really
Yes.
was sucked.
Yeah.
that was bad.
Yes.
That was the best friend for you because they're
quote,
being honest
the
with
quote
you.
unquote to how they do it, you beat your boss. You know, I hear that a lot.
I was just told about
And,
that.
you know,
I
and
told
I be
somebody
like,
that.
and, you know, he be with me a lot of the times. And I be like, did you hear what I just heard? You know, and when you hear some of these DJs, no wonder why you're not getting booked. You have a crappy product.
She have not even on the book no more.
Okay.
He's-
You've
yeah,
heard some of
self-control.
these DJs, Derek. You've heard some of them spin out. You wouldn't even hire these people.
True that.
Okay. So my thing is that it's not everybody. Sometimes it's you. And
Yeah.
you have to, I get in a lot of trouble sometimes because I'm real cold with it. I don't care about your feelings. If it whatever it is, it is, it is. I'm the gay one.
Be
I'm
honest.
the gay one. I should be crying, not you. Okay, sometimes
love
I
you,
say
Samaj.
I forget I'm the gay one. But anywho. Okay. But it's the thing of is that in order to save this music, because when you look out in the crowd, I see old people. Because we haven't trained any young people to carry on the stuff. So
Now I admit and I
All right,
feel
Derek, we got 5 minutes.
I'm gonna cut it in a minute and a half. 'Cause that's
We know
what
how
I'm
you
saying. I admit now that I know I'm older, but then when I look at my older house crowd and to me it is kind of a battery draining situation when you go from playing for adults that's anywhere between 25 and 35 years old and they're energetic, then you go to a house party in Chicago and mostly everybody's sitting down in tents and chairs or just kind of head bobbing and you might have a handful of 3 or 4 people dancing and you just be
last
like,
minute.
Yeah.
I think a lot of things that DJs are really fighting for is relevancy. And what you did in the 80s and the 90s, 2000s, it doesn't matter. What are you doing now?
There you go. There you go.
yeah. And the guys will throw that in your face, right?
Why should I believe in anything that you're saying and you can't get booked at a cake shop?
Yeah, I agree. All right, Samaj, what do you got coming up real quick? We got
I
31
actually
minutes.
have
So what do you got coming up?
the Attic Picnic coming up next week, next Saturday.
Okay, where's that one being held
And
at?
that will be at Calumet Park, and yeah, I will be there next Saturday.
All right.
Yes, so
Hey,
come and
much
see
love.
me. Yes.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank
man.
you.
Seriously, you
I
jammed
appreciate
out,
you having me.
Did your thing and bang that box. You did a
Yes,
great job.
okay, beat that box, beat that box. Bang that box is a whole other story.
Okay, yeah. So see how this isn't a family show, but
That being said, I hope that you're available for us to bring you back on the show, especially when we have our guest appreciation
Yes, I'll definitely be
shows.
there for that.
Definitely have to bring you back
Yes.
for that because your energy is by far.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
All right, guys. So I want to let you guys know pretty soon you will be seeing us on some new TV networks. We're going to be coming out live on that. Check us out on RTW TV. We'll be on there, and we're talking to a few other networks right now. But you guys will see us on multiple networks. Once again, don't get confused. Look, if you guys can't follow us on one network because of issues like how Facebook always does is cutting us off, you always guys can check us out on YouTube and all of our other sites. So don't sit there and have excuses that, oh, well, I can't watch you because they cut me from here or I cut me from... Look, we're on multiple networks, multiple places. There is always somewhere you guys can watch us. So don't be lazy. Keep following us. Keep sharing. What's that?
Know about Amazon?
Yeah, your volume's up.
Amazon.
Oh, yeah, we're going to be on Amazon, Amazon Prime. We're going to be on Roku. We're going to be available on Apple TV. We're going to be available on Fire Stick. And we're talking, like I said, a few other TV networks. And we're definitely expanding. We're getting bigger and bigger. So, yeah, Samaj, we know you like it bigger and bigger. All right, anyways, so we love you guys. Don't forget to please share, like, follow. Go to our website, DaBooth312.com, and don't forget to follow us on there. Till next week, guys, we love yous. Peace.